Hi, I'm Squeak,
Hey, it's your pal Mega Snoop.
Hey, I'm Smirky.
and you're listening to the Speedchat Only podcast.
Welcome back to the Speedchat Only podcast. We're here again with Squeak, Smirky, myself, and today we got special guest Loopy. How y'all doing, guys?
I'm doing great, Aaron.
We're doing good.
Oh, thank you. I love you, Loopy, by the way. Thank you for being here. I've missed
That's
you, dude.
aggressive.
That's you know what? I'm a little aggressive. I'm an aggressive person, okay? If I see a beautiful human being in front of me, I'm gonna let them know that they're a beautiful human being.
The community is in shambles. You can't say you're aggressive right now.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Listen, Loopy, are you at least the age of 18?
What's the question?
Are you at least over the age of 18?
Yes.
Okay, then we don't have a problem. We're good. We're safe.
Yeah,
What
that's
if I'm
how it
not?
works.
All right, but before we begin, let's go through an icebreaker real quick. All right, icebreaker, get all of our
Sure.
brain juices flowing. So I want to go around the room, and I want everybody to tell us what their favorite flavor of ice cream is.
Cookies and cream.
Okay, but
it's
like-
not up for debate. Cookies and cream.
You like cookies and cream?
I love it.
I feel like Steven was about to go on a monologue.
I was about to go on a monologue. I was
Please.
gonna ask you a
Steven,
simple
please
question,
go.
okay? I'm gonna completely
Okay.
derail your icebreaker. Why do they
All
call
right.
it breaking the ice?
I have no idea, but I feel like if I was standing on like ice with somebody and they broke the ice underneath me, that would definitely get me talking.
But it wouldn't be like a positive thing. You'd be like,
no,
bro,
but
why'd
at
you
least
break
it would
the
get me
ice?
talking. Be like, bro, what are you doing? I'm freezing.
But like, what if someone was like trapped inside the ice? Then you would want to break the ice, right?
You want to break the ice to get him out and be like, hi, my name is what? My name is who?
I mean, falling through broken ice is uncomfortable, and talking to people for the first time can also be uncomfortable.
I think that's what it is. I
Yeah.
think Michael's onto something.
Big
Anyways,
Cookie dough.
yeah. That's why cookie dough is my favorite ice cream.
Yeah, that's my cookie dough is my favorite ice
Dude,
cream.
cookie dough's good, dude.
brain. It is good. I'm more of a cookies and cream guy. I don't know about you.
I'm a double fudge brownie type of dude myself,
Oh.
honestly.
Damn, you're freaking fat, dude.
I am fat,
Gotta load
dude.
up on
I'm
that
working on
chocolate.
it.
You got little Jesus Christ. What do? Go to the grocery store, look for the thing with the most calories, and be like, Pat's belly.
I look at the
That's
thing
gonna
with
be
the
good for
most
me.
chocolate, and if it's got caramel mixed in, that's just the icing on the cake.
Layer on
Yeah,
the
I bet
frosting.
you like icing on your cake.
Tunes like, dang, that's
Tunes
maxed
like,
out
dang, that's a
Holly.
maxed out Holly.
I couldn't help
Can we
it.
not do this right now? God, it's
Solid
terrible. I
reference.
mean,
Thank
that's a
you.
solid reference to something that I wrote 5 years ago. Yeah, thanks. dude.
You're welcome,
Yeah, you still
man.
need to
That's
do that
great.
remaster.
Yeah, man. Where's
Oh
the
yeah, I was
remaster?
working on that, but then I moved to Las Vegas.
That means you can
Oh, yeah,
work
by
on
the
it
way, I
again.
did
We
that.
got your computer today.
I did get my computer today.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's been no podcast, by the way. It's because I was a bit like I moved, and then like I didn't have my computer for like a week and a half, and I finally got it today. So
Well,
There you
welcome
go.
back to reality.
Here's what I'll do. You remaster it, and I will give the video a like. That's right.
Whoa.
Oh, dude,
Aaron,
he
we
didn't
gotta
even
do
like
that.
the original
I mean-
one, so this is big.
No, I don't do that often.
Wow, a like
Jesus
from Loopy.
Christ.
That's crazy. But yeah, we should segue into our first topic here. Hey, Loopy, how you been? What's going on? We miss you.
Hi, I'm good. Not much. Thanks for missing me, I guess.
What do you mean not much, though? You've been gone for like... Yeah, you've been gone for 2 months, and you're like, what's up? Not much.
I haven't been gone.
How you doing?
Haven't
Good.
been putting a bunch of content
He's-
out.
He's been lurking, you know, the internet lurking.
Yeah, I've just
doing a lot of Clash stuff recently, probably.
I've just taken a back seat to things. Haven't really been stressing about putting any like real content out or anything.
That's understandable.
Yeah, and I've also just kind of like started looking to other areas where I can support myself financially outside of just like streams and YouTube and stuff. So a lot of time's been spent with that kind of. So
Oh, so do you actually have a job, or what's going on with that?
yeah, I actually do voice work. Like like those YouTube channels. I like read stories and top tens and all that stuff. I do that kind of stuff.
Wait, that's dope. I like that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Are we gonna see you on like Watch Mojo?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Once that one narrator for the last 10 years quits, I'm next.
Welcome to
all
Watch
mine.
Mojo. It's your pal Loopy, and today is the top 10 Toontown YouTubers who've sworn. So, but we were talking about how you haven't been uploading YouTube videos. So, is it just because there's been nothing going on, or is it just not been an interest right now, or?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, it's no secret that nothing has been really happening. I mean, the Pandora stuff happened recently, which of course I should have made a video about, and I was interested, but I also, I guess, just didn't have enough motivation to do it.
It's the Pandora.
The Toontown assets, the leak,
The assets.
the HD stuff.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay.
And like
I
know,
understand now.
I know initially you had like some really strong opinions on that. You went on Twitter. You didn't make an initial video, and I felt the passion in that video. And then nobody heard from you in 2 months, and then I missed you.
Are you talking about the document one?
It wasn't Pandora, right? Yeah, it was the document. So it wasn't about Pandora, but you made one about the documents that you definitely had like a lot of passion about. And I know Pandora kind of falls along the same line of like, holding back, where the TTR team is like holding back these things that they had before that they weren't utilizing. And so I'm sure, I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm sure that your opinions on it are probably very similar, right?
Right. So when I made the video, the statements I put out, yeah, it's so to clarify, yeah, it's the Toontown Online design documents that were basically, it was Bruce Woodside who actually saved all these documents. I guess a bunch of the other people who worked for the Toontown Online team, I don't know, didn't take good enough care of it. Basically, he ended up saving all the stuff that everybody else was kind of throwing out. And I guess at some point he gave this whole collection of Toontown Online art, conceptual art, design documents to the Toontown Rewritten team. And it's kind of been there for the last 2 or so years. And it only recently caught wind that they've been, holding on to this stuff, which, as somebody that really wants to dig into the background of like conceptual stuff and stuff that was never released, it's like a gold mine of stuff that basically feels like it's being locked up that should be out there.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what? What surprises me even more is the fact that they've had it for 2.5 years and like nobody's talked about it. Nobody's leaked it. Like they really keep that under lock and key.
Yeah, they've I mean they keep promoting like pieces of it at Toonfest, and I'm not gonna try and like make any accusations that they're using it as Toonfest bait. They obviously don't like the parallel being drawn there like that. But that's the only appearance we've seen of this stuff, is just popping up on like the art wall at Toonfest and those things. And it's not even really like,
Which is so weird,
yeah, it's not even like the art that really interests me. Like, it's cool to see the conceptual art. It's really like the design docs that I'm really the most interested in, which they haven't really featured that much at all.
No, they haven't.
The last mention of it
Yeah.
was when Joey made some tweets on May 7th, when he kind of like put up like a picture of like different things he had laid out on a table or whatever, and he mentioned that they were like working to get them scanned properly. So I don't know, what are your thoughts about that? Because that's really the
I
last
just want to
mention we've
say
had.
with that is the fact that like everyone was in a ruckus. He released like 3 photos and then everybody forgot about it. They were
Yeah.
like, okay, Joey showed us a couple of them. That's good enough for us. Like, what happened?
I mean, it was kind of like, I guess the community just kind of thought, oh, so they are working on it and we should hear something soon, so no need to get fired up about
but
it.
that's what they've said about field offices and literally everything else that they work on.
I think that's just kind of the state of how things happen in this community. Something blows up, everybody's kind of uproar about it, and then everybody just kind of forgets about it after a while. And then it gets to that point where everybody's like, wait, that is a thing.
Yeah, like I'm sure us mentioning it right now, people are like, "Oh yeah," and because they probably completely forgot about it from like a couple months ago. Because when was the last time anyone really talked about this? Honestly,
Last time people talked about it was the last time Steven talked about it. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, it's
and then Steven left us.
it quickly became a non-topic again, but as far as I heard, they were getting that stuff scanned. Like, they got some of it scanned. I don't know how they haven't even talked about how they'll distribute it or anything, but Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it once it does come out. Mainly the docs. That's just what I've been looking the most forward to.
Well, what is included in these documents? Like, are these like designs for like original concepts, or what ones were you specifically interested
Yeah,
in?
I mean, didn't you read a document over like doodles and stuff like that?
Yeah, so Jeremy, JJ Kolatar, he shared two of
I
them
love
that
JJ.
they had archived on the TTR staff drive or whatnot. The first one was landmark buildings. So landmark buildings are tune buildings and cog buildings. So it was literally a design document from the year 2000 that was like outlining what buildings were going to be and what cog buildings were going to be. But at that point, it was suit buildings because they were still suits, and like tune buildings were just things with like plaques. You wouldn't even enter the buildings, and basically, it's just the outline of like what all these core features are going to be. And from what I heard from Jeremy, there's stuff like the entire battle system, funny farms or fluffy farms or whatever it is, was apparently a doc he read. So there's a bunch of really cool stuff in there you'd like to read about, but there's no way to do that unless it's released.
Yeah, and what do you think TTR like gains from holding on to these?
Um, I'm not sure exactly. I their excuse is that Bruce Woodside urged caution not to share anything, specifically with like Disney characters or Toontown in Disney, or I guess Toontown as Disney represented it, which I guess is the main thing warding them off from sharing it. I don't know, um, but I would venture a guess as to say the one thing they might be able to get to from or get from it is like inspiration or something like that. Maybe they're like, well, let's look at the ambitious ideas that they had that they might have scrapped that, maybe we could do. Maybe that's an option for them. I'm not saying that they would outright just take the design documents and run with it, but
Oh no,
it
of course
doesn't
not.
hurt to, get some inspiration, maybe some storyline ideas, whatnot.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't hurt to have like this reference where you're like, we could use something like this in the future, but if we release it, then there's a better chance that a different server is going to take that idea first.
Yeah, and I think that's like their reasoning behind keeping things confidential because TTR in the past is they've always been like anti other servers, and that's obvious because of their Twitter and
Hmm.
them referring to themselves as the Toontown team, and them being the first among other things. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were taking measures to stop other servers from doing something first or making themselves seem like they have a better game or a more original game.
And I think you're absolutely right about that, just because of the fact that obviously they're not tweeting out things like, hey, don't play this server or this server bad, but they will do these passive aggressive things. Like if you remember, for instance, when TTI came out and everyone kind of hopped on and started playing that, people, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of people went to TTI to play mini golf. And then like 3 days later, TTR released mini golf. And they're like, no, if that's all you guys wanted, here's mini golf.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I think there's
But what
health
about?
there's health to
Oh,
that
sorry. Go
though.
ahead.
It's nice to have competition.
Oh yeah, no,
It
Oh,
is. There
absolutely.
is.
100%. Kind of like,
But I feel like some people on the team don't want that.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
I don't know.
Gotta get rid of all the competition.
I mean, I guess
Competition is really good. Yeah, I mean, like, I just kind of think about like how Twitch doesn't really have too much competition other than YouTube nowadays, and the whole Mixer thing kind of happened, so Mixer's not really a competitor anymore. And I think about like how good competition is for like big name brands. So if I think about like Toontown, for example, like TTI was a really good competitor back then. Corporate Clash certainly, there's all these other servers, right? And having competition for TTR, I think, is really good. So I don't know.
Michael, you're forgetting about Facebook gaming. The
Ah,
next
the
big
next
step
big
in,
step.
in internet live streaming.
Oh no.
even the Brinks truck full of money couldn't convince Ninja to go there.
No.
Ninja doesn't have to stream for like the next 65 years, and he still has
Dude
so
could
much
retire right now, and
money. He could retire right now.
he's just enjoying life,
There,
dude.
there's
He could move to Montana to live on a farm, and he would be the happiest guy.
Dude, he would retire, and his kids would retire. Like it's crazy.
all because of Fortnite.
Dude, Fortnite. We love Fortnite. We love Fortnite.
There's kind of two sides to the whole competition thing, though. Because, like, if you think about if you were on the TTR team, for example, and you saw a server like Corporate Clash or Toontown Infinite, if you want to go back to that, I think it's fair to say that, yeah, they probably would want to, absolutely destroy any other private server. They'd want to be the absolute top one. They're never going to say that. They're never going to claim that they want, other servers to not be nearly as popular or successful. But I think, just being on a different team, there's always going to be kind of that underlying competitiveness like that.
Oh yeah, that's just business, right? Like I'm sure Walmart would probably or maybe not Walmart. Let's say McDonald's. If every other fast food restaurant closed down, McDonald's wouldn't be complaining. They'd be sitting there profiting, right? But it's not like McDonald's is like going out of its way to like try to shut down Burger King,
right.
So it definitely makes sense. Yeah. So, but overall, just a bottom line, what are your thoughts on the whole Pandora thing?
First off, I really like it because it's really cool to see all these original assets from the early 2000s or pre-launch Toontown that we never really got to see in full resolution. These little textures that are like 64 pixels by 64 pixels all of a sudden are 512 by 512, and you see this just like detail you've never seen before. It's like getting your first pair of glasses and being able to actually see the world again. It's really cool. Once you see, we're going to be putting some stuff into Corporate Clash for the 1.1 update, and I promise you, when you get in and you see some of these Pandora textures in the game, you're gonna be really surprised how much it cleans up. Like it's an insane level.
And we can already, because
Awesome.
you made some tweets with like comparisons that I recall seeing, so we can already kind of like get a small glance at how much of a difference it really is, and it really is like quite a difference.
Yeah, like you know how there's like the tie-dye outfit and you have like that orange shorts or something that goes with the tie-dye shirt.
Yeah.
There's like actual laces on those shorts you've just never seen before because it was just one big gray blur.
Oh, I thought that was a crotch bulge.
Sorry.
But it does.
Hey.
It looks like there's just like something. There's just lines there.
And maybe it could have been an HD crotch bulge, but it's laces.
Yeah, but but now it's laces.
HD.
No, but I definitely I can tell you that like anyone who's played through the Xbox 360 PS3 era knows that those consoles supported both HDMI for full HD, but it also supported like the component cables. So you could play it on an older box TV and play it in like the 4x3 480p, or you can get an HDMI and get 720 to even up to 1080p, and it's the same game, but suddenly it just looks crisper and cleaner and in widescreen. And so playing Call of Duty for the first time, I remember this so specifically. Going to my friend's house, we always played on his box TV, and I go over one day and he just got a brand new HD TV, and like looking through the reticle of the sniper looks so crisp and so clean. It was like opening my eyes for the first time. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah, they did the it was kind of the same thing on the earlier consoles like the PS2. They had composite and component cables. So it was like that big step up to 480p, and you're like, "Whoa."
You're right. And even that is still a big step,
Yeah,
And we're only getting bigger with these steps from like 1080p to 4K to 8K.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Can't wait for my 8K crotch
You always
bulge.
think that the new resolution isn't going to be that much more impressive, but like from 1080p to 4K, there's definitely a huge difference. Just like from 480p to 720, there is a huge difference.
Their laces squeak.
Okay.
I haven't
but that is kind of a good
I haven't even played on an
Sorry, go
8K
ahead.
or like a 4K resolution yet. My life hasn't been changed that way yet. I need to experience it.
I still have not experienced a 144 monitor.
Oh, I have a 144 hertz monitor for the smoother frame rate.
Yeah,
and then
I do
have
too.
a 4K TV, and like, let me tell you, like, I brought up Netflix on the 4K TV, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, wait, that looks so good.
I can see their pores.
Like, you could just see every detail. Yeah, dude, you literally can. It was like I could step through the TV because it looked like just real life. It was crazy.
Like to know what that's about.
Yeah, I'll bring something 4K up on the TV later. You can take a look.
I wonder how much better it can even get. I remember when like Blu-ray came out and everybody's like, it looks so real. This is the best resolution you've
Dude.
ever seen.
It does look good.
Can't wait for a 16K.
Yo, dude, coming soon. I'm
They're gonna
telling you.
like run out of
32K.
pixel space. You're gonna be like, we can't shrink them any smaller.
32K. Holy
They just
crap.
gotta make more.
Dude, just make the TVs bigger.
Yeah, just make them bigger.
Dude, I'll take like a standard 65-inch TV as the smallest thing you got.
My 80-inch television.
I'm just waiting for the standard to be like those big jumbotrons you see at like stadiums now.
Take up
That's
the whole
so,
wall.
that's so
What kind of places are you
American, isn't
living
it?
in?
It's,
It really is.
It screams consumerism. Like, so we were going by the strip the other day, and I looked out the window and I saw Trump Tower, and I was like, you know what really screams consumerism? When the name of our president is plastered on buildings. And I was like, I'm so proud of America.
Yeah, nice.
God bless America, dude.
God bless, dude.
But before we get too off topic, we were talking a little
Sorry.
bit about... No, it's good. I love rambling with you guys about random stuff. It's my favorite. But we were touching a little bit on 1.1, and I'd love to circle back to that,
Oh,
especially
yes.
since Loopy is working hand in hand with the Clash team, being on the Clash team, obviously. I'm sure he probably has some insights, and he could tell us stuff like, what are the biggest struggles, or what's the most you can share with us that you've been working on right now?
Bro, I can do all the leaks right here in this episode.
Yeah, the leaks, dude.
But first,
Just tell
a
us
word from our
everything.
sponsor.
We'll censor the whole thing.
Hit it!
We're gonna put the toms in there.
Yeah, or always put the toms in there.
I guess because, Corporate Clash is a volunteer project. I guess a lot of it is really the project management and just making sure you're always on top of it, making sure the things you're wanting to get developed. I guess the harder stuff, I don't know, it's really just development dependent. I'm not like directly involved with the actual development side. I'm just kind of more like a direct and like do this, and they're like, okay, I'll get this done in 7 months.
Yeah, because you do like creative ideas, right? You're like, hey, what if we added this? And then it's someone else's job to figure out how to add that, right?
Right, yeah. So a lot of it is, it goes from idea to kind of you wait on creative assets for a while. So a lot of models and textures and whatnot, that'll slow you up for a while. And then really it's just making sure you're always on top of development, making sure you're always actively getting time in to work on things. And a lot of times you also have to just figure out how in the heck some parts of the Toontown code base work, just so you can get this feature working. One of the more ambitious things we're doing in 1.1 is we're finally going to Python 3 instead of Python 2.7.
Ooh.
So that'll bring a lot of optimization to the game. We're switching over to a new build system. We're switching away from the old VM Protect thing that's completely bogging the game down to a new Python compiler called Piperoni. And that will also greatly increase the performance of the game. So hopefully, well, actually I know, but by the time 1.1 comes out, it'll be a lot more playable than it is today. So that's great. We're looking forward to that.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Yeah, you should be able to achieve 3-digit numbers, hopefully, instead of 2 and sometimes 1.
I definitely know some people. I usually get a crisp frame rate, but that's because my computer's a little overkill for Toontown. But I definitely know there's some people who are like, I can't get over 20 FPS. So hearing that'll be, I guess, supposedly fixed is a great thing to hear.
Yeah, it's going to be greatly improved. There's already a noticeable...
So-
we're doing testing where everything's all built out and whatnot, and we're definitely noticing a lot of performance increases, so...
That's good. So, of the things that you've at least brainstormed and worked with, at least that you can share, is there anything that you would say you're most proud to have added to the game currently or going into the 1.1 update?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything too much necessarily. We're trying to be pretty good about
course.
preventing any outright leaks, but one thing that I do like is on the tune-up track we added back when the game came out, we added the treasure chest, which was I think the level 7 tune-up gag. and you probably saw the tweet, but I basically figured, you know, the treasure chest in Corporate Clash as it is not a very good gag. You kind of just toss a treasure chest out and it opens up and you just get floating ice creams from it. So it's like, well, let's try and go a little bit more thematic and do, you know, tune-up gags are supposed to be interactive-ish, funny. And so we kind of brainstormed for a bit, and I was like, well, what about one of those confetti cannons? And it was supposed to be like one of those ones that you twist and a bunch of confetti just shoots out. And then the creative team runs wild with it, and they turn it into this proper purple big cannon that just explodes confetti into you. And so...
Which I think is more appropriate, you know, because it's a level 7.
Right.
Because if you have that one of those
that's
little,
good.
like, party poppers, like, yeah, that would be good for, like, level 1 or something. But, you know, if you're going to do level 7, go big or go home.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's one thing that I helped kind of usher along that we're replacing in 1.1, which will be fun to see. And then, yeah, you can go scroll through the media history on the Corporate Clash Twitter to check it out. We did post a video of it, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So,
Yeah, I think it looks really good. Like, that's one of the things that I'm like, wow, that's a really good upgrade. Like, you guys didn't just, like, lay down foundation and say, well, that's good, let's work on new things. You're still constantly going back and saying, how can we better what we already have while still adding new things? And that's something I highly respect from Corporate Clash ever since the beginning.
yeah, it's really good to not allow that kind of precedent to settle in where, like, well, we've made this idea and it's already been in the game for X amount of time. We cannot redevelop this or, you know, change it up at all. It's always good to be able to just kind of, you know, remix some things if you feel like, you know, it really could use it.
Oh, yeah, no, I completely agree. Absolutely.
And
but if that's all we have to say about 1.1, unless you have something more right now.
oh, I was just going to also say a shout out to Polygon for doing a bunch of incredible model work and also the party cannon. She did all the animations for that too. There was a stretch where Polygon, which is our top modeler and texture artist and animator, there was a point where they were like, I should really learn how to animate. And then I swear like 2 weeks later they're like, okay, I can animate now. They just like do everything for the game.
Wow.
They created Acorn Acres, Ye Old Toontown, Sky Clan, like all those models was all
So Polygon's carrying the game on their
they
back.
did a
huh?
lot of work. The real MVP. Textures and model all by Polygon. It's insane work.
Round of applause for Polygon. Yeah.
But obviously with 1.1, there's new Lawbot stuff coming along. If you read the comics, you can tell that there is a new head of the Lawbots, I should say, that's going to be coming in. So that's all I'll really touch on, because I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to say too much and have everybody angry at me or anything. But
Oh, of
it's,
course.
we're really excited with it. We've gotten it to a really good point now. Obviously, I'm not going to say any like release date or anything, but we're feeling pretty optimistic, is what I'll say.
Is it like at least estimated during the summer, or is that like too much to say?
I would say I don't want to put any like real date on it. I don't want to put any like stress or expectations
Okay,
on
fair.
it, but we're really looking closely at it right now. As far as a release,
Can
as
you
far
say
as a
like,
release date, we're
sorry.
really analyzing, trying to figure out an actual date. I'll say that. Take that as you will.
So if you were to say like if it like soon or not soon, what would it be?
Well,
TM
you
or no
always gotta
TM?
say soon TM.
Yeah. Soon TM. Okay, that's pretty
Before
good. actually.
field offices on
It wouldn't be
TTR.
Toontown Server Press if you didn't say soon TM.
Absolutely, right?
We're gonna use it in the title of the title of the
Clickbait it
podcast.
up,
Put it
baby.
like 1.1 soon TM. Question mark? Always got to put the question marks, because you can't like straight up be like, well, this is what it's about. You got to put question marks.
1.1
'Cause you're
release
like,
date.
I don't know.
Speed chat only.
Question mark? I think I already baited that one on something else, didn't I? I swear I did. I don't know who we were talking to. I think it was just us, like the regular three. We were like 1.1 maybe?
If it works, you
Yeah.
repeat it.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
I had like a DM Judge in the middle of the episode. I was like, when's 1.1 coming out?
And bro, yo, like, we're just gonna keep putting that in the title until it does come out, and then we'll have to find something new. Field offices? Question mark? Question
Welcome
mark?
to Speedchat only 17, 1.1 release date.
Question mark? Right? Oh, I love that.
Parentheses real.
That'll just be the new title from now on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go into my YouTube settings. You know how you can like have it do like automatic things like in your title and in your description. Yep. I'm just gonna make every single title like default to 1.1 question
Beautiful.
mark. It'll work. But yeah, if that is all for 1.1 right now, I know I'm like hammering Loopy with questions. It almost feels like an interview, and I apologize for that. But I was curious. This is something we had written down for when we wanted to talk to you about what got you into the mysteries and theories. Like, what got you into doing those kind of videos for YouTube and just, getting into YouTube in general.
Gosh, why are you asking me so many questions? It's almost like you want
Because
me to
I'm
talk.
missing
Why
something.
not?
Why don't you ask us a question? Why don't you ask
I want
us
to
a
answer his question.
Yeah,
He
you
asked
know
me a
what?
question, guys. So, why did I get into the mysteries
for it.
and stuff? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I guess when I started my YouTube channel for Toontown as a whole, there was a point where I uploaded the history of Toontown Online videos, which is extremely heavily based on a article written by Comrade United called Toontown Work versus Play, which is great, and you should probably read it if you haven't. You can find it on, I think there's some like blog website, I forget what it's called, that like free blog website. But yeah, it was, I posted that, and then I kind of, I don't know, I guess I've been around Toontown for the majority of my life, and there were elements of it that were like kind of touched on in areas of YouTube. Like, how do you say the one YouTuber's name that did the mysteries and stuff before I did? I don't know how you say it. Starts with an L, it's like Lausina or something like that.
Lausina.
Oh yeah, Lausina.
Lausina. Uh-huh.
I know who you're talking about.
Like, they did a lot.
I missed those
Shane
videos. Those
Dawson.
were good.
Not Shane Dawson. They did a lot of those like mystery type videos, Toontown theories and whatnot, and they were all really great, but it was kind of just a rehash of information that was kind of already out there. It wasn't anything really groundbreaking, and I guess I felt like I wanted to deliver some kind of content that would be like really fundamentally groundbreaking. And there was that Toontown trailer where in the very clip you can see like one blip of something that you've never seen anywhere in the game on the map. You're like, what is that little gray thing over there? So I was like, I'm gonna go and interview Toontown former devs and all this stuff, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. And honestly, there was no reason why any of that should have happened, but Jesse Shell was like, oh yeah, here you go, here's the full beta map. Here you go, no reason.
That's so good though. I
I
love
was like,
that.
oh, thanks, Jesse Shell. And, I took it and ran with it. And I was like, oh, well, I got to make sure I get credit. So I slapped a watermark on it, and people still give me crap to this day for it. Which, I shouldn't have put the watermark on it, but that's another point.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Hey,
gosh, Lucy,
Michael.
what are you doing?
Anyways,
Hey, dude.
so then I was like, well, I released the map video, and, it got notoriety, but it wasn't, like, super big. Plus, like, before I even, like, put my video up, or I think, like, a day after I put my video up, Jesse Shell tweeted the map picture out himself, which obviously got...
he was trying to steal your clout.
Yeah, he got a lot more of the thunder than I did, but, I mean, it's probably justifiable. Who am I to, like, deserve the credit for it?
Like when someone says your joke but louder.
Yeah. I wish I was high on pot news. If you know, you know. I don't know if that's a deep cut, sorry.
No, it's
So-
fine.
Perfect.
Roll it. It's fine. Go.
Roll it. Just roll it.
Anyways, so I put the map video out and I'm like, well, where do I go from here? What's next? And so I'm like looking around and I'm like, well, what do I want to do? And then I noticed, the Ugly Corny posted screenshots of the Toontown 2.0 prototype. And I guess I wasn't really like around when it happened, but apparently he got a lot of flack for it. People said he was like lying and like it's fake and oh, this prototype in Unity didn't exist and all this stuff. I didn't know anything about that. I just wanted to set out to try and figure out more about it because it was somewhat mentioned online. And so I go and I reach out to Felipe Lara, which was the creative director at one point for Toontown Online. And he's like, "Oh yeah, here you go. Here's the prototype." I'm like, "Okay,
They're
thanks,
handing
bro."
everything now, aren't they?
Just handed it to you.
I don't know.
Wow.
I stumbled into the Toontown success I had, basically.
Bro, ask and you shall receive, I
I
guess.
guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Apparently.
the one that asked them nicely enough. I don't know. But yeah, they basically just handed over the notoriety that I got, and I wrote on that for the rest of my life. Here I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's the 2.0 prototype. I'm pretty sure that's what popped for you.
Right.
Like I wouldn't say every YouTuber, but most YouTubers that end up getting some sort of following have like that one pop-out video. So I had like Gag Shop and posting the, some tips and tricks, but it was mostly like Gag Shop and then the panel, because I was back before they were live streaming, the panel at OMGCon for ToonFest, and so that's kind of where everybody started watching me from, and then I just kind of cruised on with like, here are some mediocre videos. And then you had this 2.0 prototype, and people were like, wow, this is cool, I'm going to subscribe. And then you just cruised on making really good high-quality videos.
Yeah, it helped that when I was doing those mysteries videos, I, at the same time, had like a random burst of like, well, I want to do like kind of comedic stuff. So I started doing like the Toontown rants, but they're not really rants. They're just meant to be like funny, poking fun at subjects and whatnot. So thankfully, when it did pop off with the 2.0 prototype, I was actively releasing this other content that was, I don't want to like put myself high up against a lot of other people, but in the community, it was decent quality compared to a lot of stuff that was coming out. So it's like, probably at least.
Like, I could say confidently, like, you put more effort and quality into your videos than I do. Like, I'm always like, dude, I love how much effort there is and the editing and, the care. And I sit here and I sit in front of a webcam. I'm like, hey, guys, let's talk about warts. And then I cut it up and upload it, and it takes me half
Why
an
are they
hour,
so weird shit?
Dyed your hair recently.
They are weird shaped. That's funny, because I actually have a video called Warts where I sat down and just killed some cogs in Daisy Gardens while just talking into my webcam.
Yeah, but then there was also a stretch in my life where I was like, well, I didn't document enough from my Toontown Online days, so when I'm going to play TTR, I'm going to record every boss fight I do and just put it up on my channel so that I can have an archive forever. And then I started going into actual, video development, and all of a sudden there's, these 40 Toontown VPs and 5-story boss bot building. I remember you shouted me out on that one with your Toonie the Tiger Let's Play.
I remember calling you out. So
you were playing.
I forgot about that.
You were playing
until
Toonie
you
the
just brought
Tiger,
it up.
and you were like, I bet there's some fool on YouTube that uploaded a video just called 5-story boss bot building. Let me look real quick. Oh, look, LoopyGoopyG, 5-story boss bot building.
Oh my goodness.
Are those videos still up, by the way? I'm curious.
Yeah, I haven't privated any of those yet.
Okay, that's dope, though. That is some,
Yeah, at some point I'll be ashamed enough of them.
that's some gumption you got there, though. I respect it.
Yeah, I got a good way through the VPs. I think I recorded all of my VPs. But I stopped uploading around 30 or 40 or something, because that's when my actual content started to blow up, and I was like, okay, yep, I'm done with that.
Okay, we've been hammering you, so you want to ask us a question now? You got anything off the top of your head?
What inspired you to make this podcast?
Oh god.
Oh boy. Okay, so if I remember correctly, I was like, there's some topics I wanted to talk about, and I was like, it'd be fun if I sat down with Smirky and we just talked for an hour about these topics. And then Noah was like, yo, that sounds like fun. Can I join in? And I'm like, sure. And then we liked it, and we're like, you want to do it again?
And
we were like, sure.
So it just kind of evolved from you were like, okay, well, let's just talk about stuff.
Well, it was funny because we sat down to do our first video, and Aaron is introducing Michael, and then he finishes introducing him, and he introduces me, and I say, and I quote, well, it isn't a podcast, but I would like it to be. And then that's just kind of how it's been since. So
Yeah, you put your mind to something, you really work at it, you can make your dreams come true.
yeah,
Or if
and
you
now I'm
force
the
your friends
producer.
to show up once a week and make them talk for an hour, you know?
Absolutely. Who's the actual like ringleader here though? Like who runs the show? Who's like, this is the podcast and this is who we're gonna bring on?
That depends because it's really all over the place. Like
It's me.
I edit and like upload it. Obviously, Noah's the one that does the audio cut ups
Yeah, he
and
does
everything,
he
and
does the
he's
music.
usually the one reaching out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music exactly. He usually reaches
Sure.
out and tries to find guests for us. Michael looks pretty, so that's why
I
we
just
have him here.
smile.
He looks pretty and shows up late.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the face of it. Gotcha.
Actually, Michael was here before you, Noah.
What?
Michael was here before you. I started the call, and I
It's
was sitting
true.
here by myself, and then Michael was the first
I went
one
to
in.
7-Eleven to get you a drink.
You're still late.
Yeah, it's still late. No excuses.
My God.
But no,
I
I
want to
genuinely...
follow him. Let's cancel Mega Soup. Let's think of something that Mega Soup has done so we can cancel him.
but yeah,
I
no,
want to see
I,
his social blade drop like a
I heard
rock.
he's pretty
I
aggressive.
genuinely like enjoy doing this though. you know?
Aggressive.
I'm ready. Heard he's pretty aggressive.
I'm pretty aggressive. I look at Steven and I'm like, I love you.
Yep.
And he's like,
Whoa.
whoa, there,
Oh,
buddy.
he could be like 17.
Yeah, I don't know. He told me he was over 18. I
You could be
swear.
lying.
Listen, it's not a Toontown problem. It's an everything problem.
Stop.
Wow, was that a jump cut again?
So anyway, that's how the that's how the
keep it that way.
podcast started. It's okay. Just leave it all in. It's okay. This is what the people
I don't
want
know,
to hear.
What's your guys' like?
It is.
Let me just go ahead and change everything. What's your guys' like thoughts on
Absolutely.
the, just Toontown in general, like the state of Toontown?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a loaded question. I will not go first. I will let somebody
Well,
else speak.
shoot. Is this about?
I could be here. I could be here for the next 3 hours. Okay.
The recent state of Toontown?
Yeah, the state of Toontown as a whole, right now.
Okay. You know, we actually watched, we were watching the vlogs that Aaron did last night, for some reason, of the old Toonfest ones. We watched the, 2015, and we watched 2019, and, you know, I was saying to my, like I was saying to Aaron as we were watching it, you know, the team looks really different from 2015, and I was saying like the 2015, it just seems like a bunch of friends just came to middle of nowhere Kentucky to show off the game that they were so proud to make, and in 2019 it just kind of looks like a business now, and it's like, yes, partly I wish that it was still just a group of friends who, you know, had like a desire to keep the game alive, but on the other hand, I understand why it had to become a business, and you know, there's still going to be like personal people like Quentin and you know Joey's obviously, you know, a very pretty face on that team, even though the stuff that comes out of his mouth is sometimes not so pretty. But it's just a really odd change, you know, from what we were used to back in like 2015 to now. So if I'd say so, that was one of the things that I realized last night.
Yeah. And yeah, I understand it too, where you kind of, for a lack of better words, you kind of go more corporate with things. Like everything just seems so like more closer to the chest and yeah,
Brand
brandy,
heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's really a good mix that you might want to achieve. I don't know. It's really hard because they do really want to like heavily go the whole we are Toontown route, as much as they wouldn't claim it. That's really what they're striving to achieve, is the most Disney's Toontown-esque vibe possible.
Right.
That kind of echoes a lot of what I heard Jeremy talk about, as far as like the whole like friend group, and then it kind of turned corporate-y by the end of it.
Oh, dude, I watched that video last night and my heart broke because JJ just looks so happy being in that atmosphere, and then just like, you know, 5 years later he's just talking about it on streams. I'm just like, oh man, it makes me feel, dude, you know? And I'm not saying that like that friend group is bad or anything, right? I'm just saying like, man, those were definitely better times for that group of people.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, at the same time, it did give him a lot of great opportunity, so you can't feel too bad for him. I mean, he did land a nice job at Facebook.
Oh no,
Yeah.
JJ's doing great. Yeah, he's got a great
This is
job.
kind of off. I don't know. It's kind of on topic, off topic, but like the whole like brand thing. You know how I don't know if you guys remember this specifically, but when like Corporate Clash came out and there was like Loopy's meatballs in the game and everybody's like, "Oh, Loopy's doing the staff insert. I hate this. They should never do the whole staff insert thing." You guys remember at all hearing about any of that?
Yes, I
Yeah,
remember that.
I
I
remember
remember
that a
that.
little bit, but it's kind of the same thing where Smirky was always like in the game too, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, look at him catering to streamers." Like people will always have that bias, but I want to hear where you're going.
My
with this, so go
question
on.
is, who's probably the most focal point character in Toontown Rewritten? Sir Max.
Sir Max.
Sir Max. So you're talking about
Yeah,
like
Sir
staff,
Right. Well, even like in the like stories
then,
or
yeah,
like
Sir
blogs
Max.
or
I was
whatnot.
like,
So it's like, yeah, I did put Loopy's meatballs in. It wasn't even something that I asked for. It was I think it was actually DeBito back in Project Altus that threw that in. It kind of just perpetuated from that. Shout out to DeBito. Remember that? Oh boy.
Yo, big shout out.
big shout out.
boys. Oh yikes!
God, that guy was funny.
I don't miss working on his team.
Do you have
It's
something to say, Michael?
Yeah, bro. You saying
No,
bad
that's
stuff
it.
about DeBito?
That's it.
He's not here anymore, and Rewritten doesn't care. You can go off, do it. I dare you.
Well, I mean, I don't really have much to say.
That
just,
horse
like,
is long
You
since dead.
didn't like it?
I mean,
What was your least favorite part, Michael?
least favorite part? Working with DeVito. I mean,
Yeah, let's air this out. It's been years.
All the money he
Years.
used
It's been
was
like
terrible.
4 years,
Oh
dude.
my goodness.
Let it go. What is it? Oh, I hated that man, but I can't
No.
explain why. I don't know, the whole Steam Greenlight
I mean,
thing,
All
I
the
know,
money
guess.
he gave me. What a drag.
That's something we can talk
Y'all.
about. I don't know how well it got documented, the whole Steam Greenlight thing.
That was such
I was,
a
I mean, I
terrible
was
deal.
in the background
and
for
the
that, sort
insomnia
of.
thing.
I wasn't really paying much attention.
Dude, I
I mean,
thought that was like so weird.
here's the
whole
thing about the
thing.
Steam Greenlight thing, though.
That was
Like, I feel like when it first initially happened, the reception was okay, and then Joey actually left a Reddit post saying, like, well, this is how Toontown's gonna get shut down.
the future of Toontown.
And then the community
yeah.
blows up into this frantic, like, Corporate Clash or Project Altus is trying to kill Toontown. DeBito is awful. All this stuff. And I'm like, I wonder, part of me wonders if Joey didn't make that Reddit post, what would the reception have
I just
ended up
remember
being
I
like?
was
Would it
like
still be
watching
the
Aaron's
same?
stream when they were announcing the Steam Greenlight, and they announce it, and Aaron goes, "Oh, well, okay."
Yeah, no, that was I
Like,
made a
he
whole
said
video
that.
about it. I made a whole video where I was like, "Hey guys, this is happening. That's it. That's all that I really didn't have an opinion one way or another.
Oh,
I'm not going to stand here and be
okay.
like this is going to be the death to Toontown, but at the same time I'm not like, "Oh, this is going to bring Toontown to life." Like I was like it's probably just going to get mixed in with the other free-to-play games that are all over Steam that nobody looks at, you know?
Right. I don't even think it would have been like a great thing for Toontown, especially Project Altus. Like, Project Altus was far from a finished product. So imagine bringing that game to people that have never heard it before in the Steam community, on like the new releases page. Like, this Toontown Project Altus is out. People would pan that. People coming to Toontown now with like no prior conception about what the game is, I feel like ends up being more negative than anything.
The Reddit would be destroyed.
Yeah, it makes you do wonder like how different things could be if that were to happen for sure. And then yeah,
Hindsight's 2020.
Basically, to throw the like all the details out there. Basically, the Steam Greenlight thing was something DeBito completely did on his own volition without asking anybody.
that is very
He just
true.
at some point
Whoa.
he paid $100 to just throw Project Altus onto Steam Greenlight without asking anybody.
Pretty
Put
much.
like
Yeah.
a picture of like my tune as like the profile picture and whatnot. Oh,
Oh
god.
jeez. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
iffy branding, especially when he's using something that you use for your own branding, like on his own project.
It was like an achievement icon for like visiting Loopy's Meatballs, but I don't know, it was a weird thing to use.
And
Anyways, that's like long gone and dead.
yeah,
But
I just remember being like, "Oh, okay." Exactly how Megs knew was just like, "Oh, okay, like this happened."
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
I remember for a while in the staff side, people quite frequently said, no, don't put it up on Steam. But yeah, he just kind of did it himself at some
Yeah.
point.
I kind of vaguely remember that too, but he just kind of like.
He always did that though. He was always like, I'm gonna do something because I'm DeVito, and I
I mean,
really
yeah.
think I should do it.
You know.
That was just him.
Yeah, his
And he did
mindset
the same
was
thing in
like-
Arma.
Yeah, his
Same
mindset is
thing.
always like somebody needs to take initiative, right?
So I'm gonna do this, and I
Right,
hope
yeah.
you'll, be okay with it. And we're just.
I
like,
hope it was
okay,
the right
I mean,
thing.
Right.
Yeah, I guess he was the director of the project. He could do whatever he wanted, I guess.
Do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because
It's
it
kind
is
of-
supposed to be a team, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It didn't feel
I'm not
like
gonna
a
say that
team.
there's-
I mean, structure.
It didn't really feel like
Structure was non-existent.
It really was like it didn't feel like a team, which is why I left after a while. I was like, no, there's no team structure, and it progressively got worse. And now we're here, and clashes around.
I don't know how involved he was, but I did hear DeVito was also formerly a part of Toontown House, so you can see the correlation.
Oh,
Oh,
we all know how
The
much of
collective
a
O's when you
success
remember-
that was, you know?
Yeah. Their collective O's when they remember Toontown House and what it was.
yeah.
currently saluting our fallen brethren in the Toontown House.
F in chat, pay respects.
Let's make the game work by removing features.
Yep. Oh, man. I did
It's
have...
kind of nuts to see. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say...
I was gonna say. I was just gonna say really quickly that it's kind of crazy to see how Corporate Clash has evolved from Project Altus, because it's still like
Yeah.
it just evolved continuously from that.
Yeah, that's
Go
pretty
ahead,
good.
Aaron.
Hi, it's me, Aaron. So I did want to transition into one more question I had for you before we went into a different non-Toontown related thing. But I did
Right.
want to hear your opinion specifically about the Toontown partner program and what your interest in that would be, or if you had no interest at all because you feel like maybe it wouldn't work being staff for a different Toontown server. But you are such a big part of the Toontown community where people would have at least expected that either A, you would go for it, or B, at least make a comment about it. But then you disappeared for 2 months and I missed you.
Yeah. Well, two things. One,
Mhm.
I guess I don't really see what I would genuinely get out of it, because it's kind of neat, the stuff you do. Yeah, it's cool to have the Toon.town link and whatnot, but it doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't drive my viewership up, I don't think any. And I guess the blog post would be cool. I'm sure that was very fun for Smirky.
It
But,
was. I do kind of agree with the whole Toon.town thing. I mean, having a fancy vanity URL like that is not automatically going to suddenly majorly increase your viewership or anything.
Quick poll: who here has used Toon.town/Murky?
No, I just type in Twitch and then /S and then Smirky's the first one. Actually, if I go to my bar and I just type in Smirky, I can just scroll down a bit and hit enter and it takes me to his Twitch.
Comment down below if you've used Toon.town/Murky in the past 30 days. That's all.
I mean, no.
Oh, that's
I
a good
mean,
tactic.
yeah. I mean, well, I posted a lot on Twitter and stuff. So if people come from Twitter, they'll probably be using it. But I mean, it redirects to the Twitch website anyway, and it's a lot easier if you're already on Twitch to just type in Smirky rather than go to Toon.town/Smirky.
Mhm.
Anyway, continue.
The one thing I do think is kind of cool is the ID in the game, but obviously that hasn't came out yet, and I don't think everybody's even remembered that. I think everybody's kind of forgotten about the
Yeah.
verified Toon ID thing.
I forgot that was a thing,
Yeah,
honestly.
I would not be surprised if people commented and said, "Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that" or whatever.
I'm not trying to pile on to TTR, but they had an issue recently where they were supposed to double the EXP cap for some double EXP holiday, and they haven't been able to do that when it just apparently, from what I've heard, takes just another holiday, a quick swap in type thing.
Yeah, it's
game
it's
down and up
it's literally
practically.
changing a number. That's what it is.
Oh, you're referring to the whole hype and Cellbot headquarters that happened on I remember you were streaming it, Magnus. Is that what you're referring to, that event? Or
Okay, so what I think
is this
Loopy
something else?
is talking about is that you remember the previous weekend where they had the double XP and double COG promotion?
yeah.
So for double XP, in order to best utilize that double XP, they were supposed to raise the cap. So instead of capping at 300 experience per building or facility, it was going to go up to like 600 so that you could fully utilize that double XP instead of getting halfway through the building, hitting the cap, and then be like, well, now I have a whole other half of the building that I have to finish just to get 300 XP. And so what we're saying is that it should have been as easy as going into the files and or the coding and changing a number. So instead of 300 and stop, it should be 600 and stop. And they didn't.
Fair.
And like I don't remember what the exact wording was, but there was some like PR thing they put out where like, well, just wait until so and so date when you will be able to earn double EXP or something like that. And it's
But
like
why wait?
them having that happen concerns me as far as like even just Toon ID stuff, which I don't even know how that works, but like making a verify, I'm sure that's probably pretty easy because they have their staff IDs, but like even that hasn't come out. How many months has the partner program been around and they haven't gotten that
3
perk out
now?
yet?
I can find out when they made that announcement. Just give me like 30 seconds.
Yeah, go for it. Off the top of my
I would've-
head, it's been like 3, and then since then, they haven't really done much except shout out Smirky on their blog, and
Okay,
that's it.
they made the introducing the Toontown Partner Program blog post on May 2nd. So a little over 2 months, almost
2
2 and a
months.
half.
Yeah, 2.5, 2 months, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know they wanted to like do more like blog post stuff, you know, because that part of the whole thing is partners like spotlights, occasional spotlights, as mentioned in their whole like document with perks. But yeah, I know like, you know, it's just kind of there hasn't really been much going on with the, you know, partner program in terms of like community wide visibility, I think. Because there's been, you know, people have kind of forgotten about it in a sense, I feel. You know, cool, I got the Jelly Bean shorts like early or whatever. But there hasn't really, I feel, there's been like good camaraderie, I'll say, like amongst the people who are in the program and joining the program. But I
Oh yeah, like inward facing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like you were telling me that you guys are doing like a member hangout thing on Saturday, right?
Yeah, we do like occasional like hangouts together where, you know, we'll just kind of like build up that camaraderie like I was saying. But, you know, ultimately, you know, yeah, I guess in a sense it is kind of more visible inward than it is outward. But
Yeah, and so outward, like we're barely seeing anything. Like I said, there was like the blog post about Smirky, and that's about it. And then they did the Jelly Bean thing where they're like, you can get a code if you follow Smirky, and we posted it in his replies on Twitter.
They did randomly. I copied and pasted a meme on Twitter because of the whole like Twitter hacking Bitcoin thing. So I thought it'd be funny to post a tweet about it and be like, the code is trolley's broke, pond is dry, give me jelly beans before I die. And the official at Toontown Twitter replied to it and casually just dropped like a code. So, you know, I think, you know, they kind of want to like do more things with their partners, you know, like that for giveaways. I'm not exactly sure what they're planning, but it's something that like, you know, is just not really visible outward, and I'm sure they have stuff they want to do with the program, but even I'm not entirely sure what they want to do behind their closed doors with the program just yet. All I know is that I can like give feedback and hope they do something with it.
So I'm sure they do
I'm
have
definitely-
something down the road, but sorry for cutting you off. I was just going to segue back to Steven and say that probably still doesn't help him have any more any more incentive to go for it.
I don't know, I just kind of rambled. Sorry, Loopy.
It's all good.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say I'm definitely not trying to put them down because it's like I said, for any Toontown project, it's all volunteer, and doing blogs all the time and trying to include all these features. It is a lot of work. It is time consuming, so I don't blame them for not having it done. But there's obviously like concerns as far as how soon will that stuff even like happen or come out. I'm speculating, but I imagine the way the ID thing works is they add, they have like access levels or something like that, and then they would add like 100 is default user, 101 would be verified tunes, and they just have to edit the label. Like they have one for staff member already.
Like as someone who's worked on Toontown projects, that's my speculation too. I don't know exactly how they're going about doing it, but that is my speculation.
So it would feel like in theory, it should be an easy enough change to make happen. I don't know,
See,
like,
in theory.
no,
what the
I
real
agree.
hang-up is.
I agree in theory. I don't know if they are doing something else other than access levels, but in theory, I agree with you.
Right. So, but circling back to the original point, there's not enough there that makes me feel like it's genuinely worth considering. And then also, I just don't want to have the restrictions or like, I don't want to have the requirement basically to make a stream or two streams or two videos or whatever per month for Toontown Rewritten. I get it. I totally understand it. I just don't want to have that requirement, that feeling where I like have to do a Toontown Rewritten stream or video because I'm a partner.
Makes sense.
It's like Quentin said on the one of our previous episodes. It's not, are you right for the Toontown Partner Program, but is the Toontown Partner Program right for you?
Absolutely.
Right.
Let Loopy swear. Let Loopy
Let him do it.
And then my second thing is this whole partner thing really happened right in the middle of the Toontown design document thing. And with my video that posted and seeing the responses that some other people in the community got, I didn't feel like even if I did throw a application in, they would accept it because of the whole like the community is too unstable, whatnot.
Getting
You-
involved
we
in
wanna
like
see
community
people that are
drama
trying to-
or whatever.
anti-TTR
Right,
propaganda.
Right, so like me making that video where I'm frustrated with Toontown Rewritten because I want these documents to be released, I feel like that alone would have been enough for them to say, well, you're just too dramatic, I don't know, and deny me. Because it seems like
Accurate.
people who were even like remotely involved in that stuff were getting denied over that stuff, so...
Dramatic.
I
I
didn't
think
have
you mean
great confidence.
passionate.
Passionate. Let me Smirky,
Yeah.
when you say founding partner, does that mean they reached out to you specifically asking you?
So for me, yes, they had. I had an email in my inbox that I noticed way too late. That basically was an invitation to join the partner program. It literally doesn't mean anything different versus like a partner versus. There's no difference between a partner and a founding
Right.
partner. It's just they sent me an email saying we want you to join the partner program rather than me having to fill out an application for it.
Man, they didn't like me enough.
Pepe hands.
That's okay.
They didn't like me enough either.
They still don't like me.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
this is not against your content.
Right.
It's just you do like Call of Duty and like for
Oh, I know,
Aaron,
yeah.
you do like Call of Duty and you
Yeah, he does.
you swear occasionally, so it's like not Toontown. But like anything
Oh,
I've
it's not
done
Toontown appropriate.
is
Yeah, no.
anything on my Toontown channel is squeaky clean. Besides like Loopy's balls, and everyone's like, "Oh, Loopy's balls." Oh, that's the word.
That's-
It's so inappropriate.
that's it.
No, I feel like that's okay because I remember we were talking to Quentin and we were like, so for the most part, like, don't do like hard swearing and stuff. But if it's one of those like innuendos, one of those things that could be taken one way but not really, like it's one of those things that they probably would let slide. So I feel like Loopy's balls is like the perfect example that falls right in there. You go like, yeah, it's Loopy's balls because Loopy makes meatballs, right? But then there's some
Right.
people like 13-year-olds might giggle at that or something because they're like, we like meatballs. But then you get some of the older people who are like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there. But
I mean, to be fair, it's not a very highbrow innuendo.
no, it's
pretty
not.
straightforward.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Loopy's meatballs.
You have to watch Rick and Morty to really understand.
Oh, just enroll and follow me, please.
I feel like that was one of the ones that they probably let slide, though. But again, I think, yeah, the biggest issue there is probably you're like, here's my anti-TTR propaganda,
It's not
guess I'm a
anti-TTR.
little
It's
No,
just,
I know
surprised.
it's not.
it's
I'm
not
making a bad
anti-TTR.
joke.
It's just like, stop doing that. Just
Yeah.
be
I
be
guess
better.
I'm a little surprised that I don't know, like if they did. Maybe it's just because I'm part of Clash. That's why they wouldn't have considered me for it.
Hey,
but
got their reasons.
I feel like the merit is there to at least consider for founding partner.
I bet you if there was a discussion, like, because I know Quentin was talking to us about it again, where they have the whole team, like not the whole team, not all 80 people, but they have like a good handful of people who work on these partner applications, and they have everybody in the team be unanimous about if this person should be let in or not. And so I am sure there would probably at least be a discussion about you. There would probably be a good handful of them that are like, yeah, Loopy's good. We would let him in. Now, see, it was surprising to me to hear that there was at least a couple that were like, yeah, let Mega Snoop in. When I'm like, no, I knew from the beginning this is a no, right? Like I was surprised to even know that, but no, like knowing you and knowing the type of content you make, I definitely feel like there would be a real discussion and it would be strongly considered at that time. But again, is it even right for you? Is that even something you'd want to apply and do? Maybe not.
To bounce off that, actually, I did just want to ask Loopy, like, I guess, what would you like to, I guess, see out of this program? Like, what would, like, be, like, totally convincing to let you consider the possibility?
Money.
No.
Money.
No, I don't know. I guess I'm curious to hear your take, because, like, if, the partner program isn't, like, super appealing to members of the community like you right now, what do you think could help, I guess, raise that interest in a sense? I know we're kind of, like, pretty, over time right now, but I do just want to, like, ask.
Well, I think the problem with the partner program is a lot of the stuff you really want as a content creator, it's probably kind of extending the bounds a little too far for TTR's comfort. So you might want like some place where they can feature your stream, or something, but like you can't really regulate what they're streaming, when they're streaming, like if it's always appropriate. So it's like it's stuff that, like, basically what I would want out of it is something that does genuinely drive engagement or viewership to the person, not only just TTR. Something that's mutually beneficial for both parties. And I honestly don't know even like the best solution for that.
Taking the words right out of my mouth. I've been saying that since day one. Like, literally, we sat down for the first thing, and I said, it's got to be both ways. It has to be, because there's no way people go in thinking, yeah, I'm going to let TTR mooch off my audience, because that's what they're doing right now, is they're looking at audiences and saying, well, okay, what do these audiences want,
And it depends the individual to individual. Like, I could argue that it probably didn't really help Smirky. He was already kind of big, so trying to get that extra audience from TTR themselves probably didn't do much. He probably still averages the same amount of viewers, would have gotten the same amount of followers anyway. But it's what he's doing is good stuff.
I mean,
but then you got with somebody like
I was gonna say, even with like the blog posts, like I still average like the lower amounts of viewers that I normally do versus like having a massive influx.
But then you got somebody like Amesy, right, where she was little, and then she kind of got a little boost from this program. Like, it actually did benefit her. I couldn't tell you how much, because I mean she's kind of on her way up anyway, but she's definitely getting more viewers than she did before, especially with the attention that she's getting from the TTR program. So she's right now currently able to apply for Twitch.
Congratulations, by the way, if you're listening to this.
Congratulations, Amesy.
Congrats.
So if she would probably have gotten there anyway, but I think she got there faster because she was a TTR partner.
And to TTR, maybe, we're missing the point completely. Maybe it's not something that's meant to be designed where it's like this mutual beneficial thing. Maybe it's always been meant to be for, the hardcore TTR fans who want to really align themselves with TTR, not this whole like, well, these are content creators that we're partnering with, that we're trying to actively engage and drive viewership up for, more than this is content creators that are closely aligned with TTR and really love TTR, and, more like they want to support TTR kind of thing.
Can't wait for the partner lounge.
And get slightly recognized.
Toontown Partner Lounge, Toonfest 2021.
Jesus.
Oh, heck yeah.
You coming?
I wouldn't put it past him, dude, honestly.
We're going to serve seltzers.
Yo, Loopy, come to Toonfest next year.
Yeah, do it.
Party.
Yeah.
Do it.
Please.
Bro, are you even going to Toonfest next year?
Probably.
I wasn't going
weren't
to
going
this
anymore.
year, but I think I will next year.
You heard it here first.
No, because like genuinely, I was
Bro,
looking
we
through.
can't go
like, some of
next
the
year.
old stuff,
Coronavirus 2 is gonna happen.
The sequel.
COVID 20, dude, it's coming out.
Dude, I hope this one's directed by Michael Bay.
No, dude, that'll be a lot more explosive stuff we don't need. Either end.
Coming out both ends.
Yep. We don't need that kind of explosion going on.
No.
Yeah, you
Anyways,
should
we're
go just to like hang out with friends and chill and whatnot.
Yeah, come drink with us. I mean,
come be adult with us.
What happens at ToonFest stays at
dude,
ToonFest.
it does. So we are
Bro,
getting.
shout out to the Tunes of Toontown panel at Replay
Oh.
Yeah.
Effect. Or OMG Con, I mean.
yeah.
Was that
OMG
OMG
Con.
That was
Yeah.
terrible. So bad.
Mega Snoop, maybe you should private that video, Kappa.
Nah, dude, keep it up. That's an archive.
Yeah, dude, we got to look back
That's
at the good
true
memories.
Toonie moments.
But we are getting towards the end of our time here. So did we want to touch upon one more topic, or should we just call it?
I'm fine with whatever.
We can say, yeah, there's things going on.
I mean, Frizzy Dog and Pop exists.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He's existing.
He's previously existed too.
Yeah, he's previously
He
existed
did.
too.
He previously existed, and then nobody heard from him for a while.
Yeah,
Now
he's
he's existing again.
Type
What
in
a
the comment
crazy time.
section about it. Maybe
Yeah, you guys
let
talk
YouTube
about
handle
so
it,
we don't
because
have
at that
to.
point it's YouTube's problem, not ours.
Dude, that's true. You're right. Talk about it.
And
so
add
we
us
don't
on
have
Twitter.
to.
In fact, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow everybody here on Twitter. I'm putting everybody's links down in the description as always. So, if you aren't like following all of these dudes right now, I don't know what you're doing, but I feel like everybody should be at this.
Yeah,
point.
I put out quality tweets like the last one you mentioned in this podcast.
Dude, that was a quality tweet. I can't wait for 2 months from now for your next quality tweet.
It'll be very introspective and funny.
There you go.
Anyways, this is going to be a little long, and I don't want to edit this any more than I have to. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching this episode of Speed Chat Only. Thank you so much to Mr. LoopyGoopyG, a.k.a. Steven, for coming onto the podcast. We appreciate
Heck
you
yeah,
having
dude.
you on. You've been extremely entertaining, and as always,
I hope so.
From your pals at home to you at home, this has been Speed Chat Only. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.